That hurt.
I'm tuned in like crazy, and I'm pretending like I know what they're doing, and I'm,
Be articulate and intelligent.
Greg's a bitch. That's all.
I find them offensive as hell.
I've never been a fan.
Yeah, fuck that.
Terrible! Bad! Not bad! Oh, pretty good. Okay. Decent. Fair. Great. I love this.
This sucks.
Yeah, you really gotta wonder how the stuff gets made.
Welcome to the Straight Red Card. Hey, Brett, just thinking, my impersonation of JT Batson is fucking bang on.
Yeah.
Clip. I mean, that's exactly how he talks. I even got the big in there along with what he's saying. I find
it's pretty simple. But it's
no,
nice
but the tone of my voice sounds the same as his.
Oh.
In that impersonation. I don't usually sound like that, do I?
I don't know.
No, I don't. You better not say I do. I don't want to sound like JT Batson. That guy sounds like he's half asleep half the time. All right, welcome to the Straight Red Card. Thanks to all of you coming to the show. And when I say coming to the show, I mean being at the show or watching the show.
Hey, no judgment on our part.
You're perfectly welcome to come to the show if you want to as well, if that's your thing. No judgments here. Which brings up a topic. I was watching X Hamster the other day, and they have a commercial that starts.
As one does, sure. Go ahead.
Well, sure. They have a commercial that starts out when you click on the video and you hit play. It says, "Tired of watching porn and jerking all the time?" And I'm like, no, that's why I'm here, you stupid cunt. Because I love jerking it, and I have no interest at all in doing all the nasty stuff anymore with any chicks anywhere.
I'm done with that. I like the commercials that pop up that say, like, why don't you fuck ugly chicks? They need fucking too. It's like, wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Well, there's the other one. This is not a joke. You must respond to these messages and fuck an old woman in the next week or something to continue to have your membership. I mean, I don't have a membership, dumbass. I'm just here watching for free. Okay. Do you have a membership in any porn site?
No,
there's no point. What's the point? It's all free out there. You can find it. The turd in the background, speaking of porn, says, "Welcome back to the Straight Red Card. Nothing is happening in the soccer world. I've got nothing. My wife just had a train run on her while I was mowing the lawn. At least she didn't make me watch." Well, you know what? If she made you watch, I don't know, you could break out the Vaseline or something and make sure that you service yourself at least, since she's busy serving everybody else.
Derek is promoting cuckoldry right there. You become a cuck, is what he's saying.
No, I'm not.
If she's going to service him, you service yourself. Just on the other side of the bed.
It seriously sounds like that's the only choice he has at this point. Michael Cameron. Michael Cameron, tough love life there, buddy. Sorry to hear it. Okay. Actually, today I have the fucking comments on. I can't believe it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right. So there was another guy that died today.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I don't know if you're going to bring up the one I'm going to bring up.
It's this dude. Can you see him? Okay. And then he's on the top of a building. And it says, "Daredevil plunges 68 floors to his death after Hong Kong skyscraper stunt went wrong." And then one of his famous quotes is, "Life is about living on the edge." Oh, yeah, I guess it is.
You mentioned another guy died. Did you mention the first guy?
There was another guy that died pretty recently doing the same stunts.
Oh.
Yeah, just falling off buildings because, there's only so many times you can do that. This guy made a living filming himself on top of skyscraper points and shit, doing selfies. And, yeah, I mean, listen, that'll work for a while, but you only have to slip once. I thought you were going to talk about this guy right here. Oh, Pee Wee Herman. May he rest in peace, giggity.
He went to that porn theater in the sky.
That was always a little weird. when you found out Pee Wee Herman, I mean, it wasn't weird to me. It was weird to other people because he was a child show host for a while, right? Pee Wee's Playhouse. And then you find out he's spanking it at a fucking porn movie theater. Like the dude couldn't afford a fucking VHS player and a TV and just spanking it at home.
Maybe he finds it exciting to go walking around the theater and sticking to the floor and,
I guess some people do get off and publicly jerking it. I don't know. I prefer a nice, quiet, like isolated, just me and whatever. So I don't know. Pee Wee Herman, weird shit.
It was a nice way of meeting people,
I don't think he really met
down,
but the police, Brad.
Here.
I don't think he met the police. That's about it. I don't think he met anybody else. So that was something he didn't need to do.
He definitely met somebody else because they called the police.
Well, yeah. Somebody noticed him doing it, obviously, called the police. It was somebody working at the theater, as far as I remember it. But, I mean, listen, I guess he had his little thing. But, it shouldn't have surprised anybody that people have fetishes or want to do things like that. And it didn't hurt his career because he made a comeback after that. When I say a comeback, I mean he returned to acting.
He made it come on someone's back, is what you're saying, right? Oh no, not that. Sorry.
Oh no, not that. Lemon Party, Golden Shower reference. Those theaters smell like ammonia and pancake batter. You would know, Mr. Lemon Party. I've never been to one, so I'm glad. I guess they were popular in the 70s and even the 80s. A few survived into the 90s, but I remember looking at photos of downtown Bloomington in the 1970s. And there was a big, of course, the theater on the north side. They were playing The Devil and Miss Jones was on the headline. So they were playing porn on the square in downtown Bloomington in the 70s. I guess that was fucking normal back then. It's odd because you wouldn't find that. Like, no way in Bloomington they allow that to happen now. But, that's how it was then. All right. What else? We got, can I just say LA Galaxy are pathetic? Fucking pathetic.
I heard
they
lost to Vancouver?
They shouldn't have. They had the game wrapped up, and then they just fucking squandered it in the end. We're currently, by the way, everybody, watching, I'm watching Chicago play Puebla, and all Chicago has to do is get I think a tie, right?
They literally don't have to do anything. Just not lose, I guess. That is something, I guess.
Well, remember, if they tie, they go into the penalty kicks. So if you go into penalty kicks and you lose, you still get a point. If you're a penalty kick winner, you get 2 points.
Yeah,
if you win, you get 3 points.
A tie and a loss is still a win for them.
Yeah, so they should get out of this because Puebla's not that good. Yeah, they're not that good.
So Lemon Party says that Lemon Party is just 3 friends enjoying each other's company.
Okay. I did not know. Is that a real thing?
X27 says, it's Chicago. Which means that they will tie, because that's Chicago's way.
Well, they are playing that fatty, Shaqiri, so we'll see what happens there.
Yep, that was $8 million plus well spent.
All right. Well, before we head to anything else, Brett, I want you to take up your best acting skills right now. And I want you to pretend you are a brain surgeon. Okay? And you've just been called a brain surgeon.
It's my day job. Come on, man.
And that is your specific expertise, brain surgeon. You got it?
Gotcha.
All right. And I'm going to call you to the hospital in emergency, and you're going to show up, and I'm going to be some dumbass administrator telling you what you need to do next. Are you ready?
I'll try. Do my best.
Hey, Brett, I am so fucking glad you showed up. We got an emergency right now. We got this guy, and his fucking intestines fell into his fucking ball sack, and he needs emergency fucking surgery right now. So can you get to work on that?
I'm a goddamn brain surgeon.
But you're a surgeon, right?
Just because somebody works in IT doesn't mean that they can fix the network.
So you're saying you're a surgeon, but you're not going to help this guy out with his intestines in his ball sack? Man, You're a fucking fraud.
Nothing I can do.
You're a fraud. You're a fraud surgeon, Brett. You're a fraud surgeon.
I'm 3 drinks in. I don't think he wants me working on that, okay?
Anyhow, that's a reference to comments on the last show. I mean, I don't get it. Okay, well, I guess we're supposed to know. Listen, that's the worst thing about crazy Barcelona fans. They are so fucking arrogant. They expect you to know all the players on their team. Yeah, all the fucking players on their team. Although I haven't watched a Barcelona game in like 4 years, except for, I guess, when they played Celta Vigo last season. And all I was watching was fucking one player, Luca De La Torre. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Sorry, Chris, we're not getting a drunk breath show. I was in character. A doctor is always drunk.
My point being, we have a certain expertise here, and that is U.S. soccer, players abroad. That's what we do. If you want a Barcelona show and a show about Barcelona players, go fucking watch some other show that covers Barcelona. Because frankly, we don't give a fuck about Barcelona or Real Madrid. And God forbid, I was forced to watch Chelsea for goddamn 3 and 4 years almost because Pulisic was on it. But I fucking hate Chelsea. I fucking hate all the big teams. I'm a small team supporter. I watch Fulham. I watch tiny teams for the most part. I mean, unless you want to call LA Galaxy a big team. But the only reason I supported them is because Landon Donovan was there.
To avoid sounding, I don't even talk about Pepe's previous team. Was it Groningen? Groningen, is that who he played for in Holland? The team that got relegated?
Are you talking about who now?
Pepe.
No, wasn't Groningen.
Who was the team that he played for that got relegated?
Well, now you're making me feel like a dumbass because I'm trying to remember their fucking name.
I didn't want to say because I wasn't sure if that was the name or not, but
it was not Groningen. No, but they got relegated. What's the point? What are you bringing out here?
My point is I watched a number of those games and I couldn't tell you goddamn another person on that fucking team.
No, I don't know a single other player except for Pepe. Was it Groningen?
Yes.
Groningen? Oh,
suck it, you fraud.
It was Groningen, wasn't it? Oh, Jesus Christ.
He's trying to.
Oh, my God.
Derek's trying to fuck with me right now.
No, my old age is just totally ruining my brain. All right. Yes, I know who Xavi is.
My point is, I watch a number of teams.
BMR's right. I don't know shit right now.
My point is, I watch a number of games each week. All of them have to do with U.S. men's national team players outside of Chicago, because at that point, outside of Gutierrez and maybe Brady, who cares when it comes to U.S. men's national team players? But I don't know many of the other players, if a lot of them, especially when you start talking about teams that I don't watch on a weekend basis. When we're talking about Leeds every fucking day,
yeah,
we're talking about Chelsea every day.
Yeah.
At that point, knowing everybody on the team it's going to happen. But watching a handful of Pepe games here or a handful of Luca De La Torre games here, and then watching who was on Barcelona? I forgot. That's right, we had nobody on Barcelona.
Well, we do now.
Guys. I'm not going to watch that game.
Dust is back, so we'll have to watch some of those games. Well, we might not have to watch any of those games.
Right for now.
Based on his performance against Real Madrid, he may never get to play for this team ever again if that's how he's going to play, because he was horrible. So, yeah. Yes, I know who Xavi is. I know all the classically great Barcelona players that have been around for 10 years, 15 years. I know who Messi is, obviously. I mean, come on, let's be reasonable. But I really haven't watched Barcelona for at least 3 or 4 years. I really haven't. I just haven't, because I don't like them, number one, and I don't care. I watched when Dest was there, but how much did Dest really play? I mean, outside of that first season where he got some handful of games at the beginning, I watched that, and then he never played again. So there you go. End of that story. All right. So yes, I'm an idiot, I guess. There you go. Really, Groningen? I forgot Groningen already. I've already blacked that out of my mind. How is that possible?
Who cares? No.
Fuck it. All right. All right. Whew. That was a hell of a start to the show. All right. So have you ever watched, by the way, Planets? The orchestrated it's a record from that was written in 1913, but I believe the album didn't come out until we had like real records and all that shit. It's called Planets. It's by Gustav Holst. I'm telling you, since you are at least a fan, I think, of Star Wars and that kind of, you should listen to that music, dude, because that is where John Williams took all the inspiration for his music for Star Wars. I've never heard the album until last night, and I'm like, holy fuck. All of these songs, like there's one for each planet, sound exactly like Star Wars, but it was written in 1913. This is insane.
Did the album include Pluto?
No, because Pluto was not
Even
around
at-
yet
even-
then. Not 1913. I don't believe. No, I don't think we found out Pluto existed until after
I'm
1913.
curious. Yeah, I was making the joke,
And
that
it's
Pluto's
not a
no
planet,
longer
by the way, either.
Yeah, it's no longer a planet. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When was Pluto discovered? 1930.
There you go.
There you
Too
go.
early for Gustav Holst.
There you go.
But anyhow, he's an English dude.
And you know what the funny thing is that it holds up true today, though, was what you're saying.
No, it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. A lot of the rhythms that he used in that album and the orchestration, it's all totally similar. So, no. I'm not saying John Williams is a con man. That'd be like me saying the Beatles are con men, because everybody takes inspiration for something. And obviously the Beatles took inspiration from something. Every band takes inspiration from something. I don't think it's an exact copy, but it's so close you're like, I see it and I can hear it and I can feel it too. And I know John Williams, I don't know if he's ever admitted it, listened to that album before he wrote the Star Wars stuff. So
David D says, per Jerry Smith, Pluto is a planet. And how did that work out for Jerry, David?
Per Jerry
Not
Smith?
very good. Not very good.
Who's Jerry Smith?
He's the father from Rick and Morty.
Oh, okay. I thought he was another Barcelona player I didn't know. I was worried.
He might have been. Who knows? Who knows?
Oh, speaking of that, are you familiar with Farim Lopez, Brett?
Name rings a bell.
Fraud. He just played a really good game for Barcelona against Real Madrid.
I can barely say names, let alone remember them.
Farim Lopez. I believe he was on the 2 team, but he played so well against Real Madrid, I think they announced. See, this is real breaking news for you Barcelona fans, that he's going to be with the first team going forward from here on out. And he did really. So there's a Barcelona game I did watch chunks of. Barcelona versus Real Madrid. Because guess what? There's nothing else on. I had no fucking choice. All right.
Derek, as I told you when you were texting me all yesterday, it was one person posting it. Nobody brought this up ever since
I know.
Started.
I don't
You're
care.
like
Still hurt my feelings. It hurt my feelings, Brett. I mean, I was hurt. All right, Berhalter.
I love the fact that he called you a fraud and not me.
Oh, did he just call me a fraud?
He said, "Derek, you're my fraud watch now."
Oh, fraud watch. That's right.
Whatever it was, yeah.
I might be on your old senile person's watch more likely, actually,
Well,
because
maybe
I don't
only
remember
about-
fucking shit anymore. I mean, I literally have to write everything down that I observe, or by the time the show comes on, I don't remember anything. All right. Berhalter. This video came out. I think it's been out for a while, maybe. I don't know, but I just saw it today for the first time. And it was a sort of very awkward speech that he gave using African dogs as his metaphor. Really, really creepy, weird. I know if I was the player, I'd be looking around like, what's he talking about? This is weird. Anyhow, you want to play it? You got sound?
Do you have any idea if what game this is from? Is this World Cup?
I've been guessing we were playing some African team. I don't know, because I don't understand the whole terminology he's using, So it's just
Jack D
weird.
says this is old. This was during World Cup qualifying in Cincy, apparently, to Dave D. This is Mexico at home. Okay.
Did it come out then? Or did it just come out recently? Or did I watch it 6 months ago and I'm too fucking old to remember it?
I certainly don't remember it. I want to hear it. Go.
I don't remember
Get out of my mind, guys, for the last 3 days. Right, was when that zoo guy was talking about the African dogs, man, and how they hunt. Remember how they hunt? They hunt as a pack. And they don't.
Wait. Why is he talking to them as if everybody in that room has watched the special about the African dogs? Was this some of the homework that he sent home? Hey, watch this video about African dogs?
No, I think it was that they went to the zoo. He just mentioned they went to the zoo. Remember when we went to the zoo and the guy was talking about African dogs? I couldn't get it out of my mind, he says. He couldn't get it out of his mind.
I can just imagine being the coach of the national team, talking to a bunch of 18 to, say, 38-year-olds, which I'm lumping Reem into that equation. But he wasn't here at this point. But it's like, hey, we got a day off. What do you want to do? Do you want to, lounge around at the pool, or do you want to go to the Cincinnati Zoo?
I guess they went to the zoo.
I guess they went to the zoo. Yeah.
Greg couldn't get it out of his mind. I frankly, I have no problem getting things out of my mind. But Greg, he's hung up on these African dogs.
Stop. They keep running until their prey falls down in exhaustion, and then they go for the kill. Tonight we are dogs. We sick the dogs. Are you ready? Let's go. On 3 USA, boys. 1, 2, 3. USA!
So
that was cringe. Whew.
So the whole point of that his analogy there, his story, is that the African dogs get their kills by wearing the opponents out, by outrunning them, and then just eventually the antelope or the wildebeest or whatever just collapses from exhaustion.
Bunny rabbit.
So he's saying, hey guys, instead of going out there and dominating the performance by maintaining possession and passing it around the pitch, we're just going to outrun the opponent. Until they fuck up.
I don't know. That seemed sounded unnatural. Hey guys, remember when we went to the zoo? The one thing I took away from that is this metaphor I'm about to use on you motherfuckers, and you better all clap along like you like what I'm saying right after I'm done saying it, motherfuckers, or you're off the team. I don't know. That's just weird shit, dude. I'd be like, is this guy drunk?
Again, it's just like, hey, we made all these strides to be a more possessive team, and we're trying to take it to the opponent. We're going to go back about 30 years into the past, back when we just relied on our speed and our athleticism and just outrun the opponent. That's basically what he just said to me.
Yeah, I don't know who we're planning on playing either. So
they said Mexico.
Oh. Well, I don't know. I don't know if the metaphor works.
Hey, we won, so clearly it got him stoked.
I don't know if he meant that we're supposed to have possession, but it sounded like we were supposed to chase them around until they passed out. Not the other way around. I'd rather have the ball a little more than that, but okay. All right. Well, I get it. He's trying to inspire the troops and
run more equals win.
Yes. I get it. Oh, by the way, did you see all the strays that, speaking of dogs, that EPB was taking on Twitter there? Poor EPB.
I saw him challenging a couple of posters. Yes.
Yeah, he stood up to him. But, yeah, I guess they were calling him shit.
He's like, hey, why don't you come down to the pitch and we can talk in person? The guy's like, nah, I don't live there. And you just play like, and the guy, he's like, yeah, it was a pretty bad season, and I'm hoping to bounce back.
Yeah, he did admit it was a bad season.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to give the guy a break. A little bit of a break.
Well,
it's not like his career is on.
Go ahead.
It's not like his career's on life support. All right?
No.
You want to know some players whose careers are on life support? I got hair.
Might as well. Let's hear some.
Well, a lot of them you're going to know.
No.
Conrad. That guy's career is on fucking life support.
He's retired. Yeah. Oh, different Conrad. Sorry.
Yeah. Dest's career is very close to being on life support. At least his club career is. I don't know how a guy can play so good for us and then go play so poorly for his club consistently. Play so crummy. And I think it's because of the responsibilities he's asked to have.
I was about to ask that because I don't watch Barcelona, hence why I don't know some of the players. But
when he plays at Barcelona, he's not supposed to be the dude who carries the ball forward that much, right? They just want him to play some decent fucking defense, mostly.
Well, then you got the wrong player.
Solid defense, advance the ball forward, make passes, make some runs, make some crosses. That's it. While on the U.S., he's asked to take a very major offensive role. And I think that's what he likes. And I think him playing in Barcelona, although we saw him overcommit like fucking crazy that whole game versus Real Madrid, you'd think he would be focused, super fucking focused on what his job is at Barcelona. So he makes the team and he becomes a starter. But no, instead we saw this erratic motherfucker who's clueless about responsibility and you know, really immature. Immature would be the word I'd say. He made immature decisions. They're not high IQ decisions.
I guess, and again, I don't watch Barcelona, so I don't know what's being asked.
I just watched that one game, Brett.
If he's
I'm no genius.
Guys in the chat, correct us if we're wrong, but if he's being asked to sit back more and play more defense, I feel like this is just the team's inability to scout the right player for that role. He's not a player that's going to be a big.
Well, can I tell you why he was asked to play defense in that game?
Sure, go for it.
Because Vinicius Jr. was on his left, was right in front of him. I mean, you got to play some defense. That guy's fucking amazing. So, he was going to be asked.
I heard the crossbar bailed him out of a burn, too.
Yeah, he got burned a couple times. Maybe more. Because I was in and out of the room.
Again, I mean, even when you're looking at his role with the United States national team, he's not a sit-back defender. He can come back and he applies some defensive pressure, but he's not going to be your 1v1 right back option. He's not going to be sitting back and holding. Joe Scally's a prime example of a type of player that would be able to fill that type of a role if you want him to sit back and not necessarily get up in the attack so much.
I'm not saying Des is coming to the MLS or anything.
No,
anytime soon.
He just needs to get the fuck out of Barcelona at this point.
Barcelona's probably not a place he's going to play much.
No.
And, I mean, it's really odd they brought him back and they said, all right, we're going to give you another chance. And the first thing you do is go out, play against Real Madrid and play completely like shit. Like you got your head stuck up your ass. Completely. So it doesn't bode well going forward. I don't know who else they're going to play friendlies against before the season start, but Derek knows what he's just doing. Yeah, I do. I know some of the big boys. I actually have watched more Real Madrid probably because of Champions League than I have Barcelona. Anyhow,
you're not watching it because of Real Madrid, but you're watching because of who they're playing.
Right, correct. So anyhow, also watch.
World Cup too. Des needs to get the fuck out of Barcelona, which is why when there's the rumor of him possibly going over to Union Berlin, even if it wasn't the best fit for him, which that was a lot of Pete and Tack were talking about that. I know you mentioned stuff like that, but it would have just been him getting the fuck out of Dodge. This clearly wasn't working for him at Barcelona. And the only reason why they brought him back is they don't have a suitable replacement. I mean, from what I understand. I mean, they have other people who will be able to play the role, but especially if he continues to play as crappy as he's doing. But
rumors are, and I don't believe these rumors, that if he has another horrible season, they're just going to cut their losses and just cut him.
That's what I heard too. Yeah, actually, I was going to bring that up earlier, but yes, I heard that they're talking about buying out his contract, which will work great for him because then he can.
I don't think they'll do that because surely they could find somebody in the Dutch league at mid-level to take him back to Holland.
Yeah. Hold him until the January window, and then sell him for like $1 million or $2 million. Get something back.
Shit, 1.1 million. Here, have him. At least make some money back.
Yeah.
But all right, Hoppy, another guy on life support. Got to do something this season.
He's
something
on life support.
Has to happen, or else your career is going down a fucking drain.
I mean, I always talk about like. People are like, well, he just needs to go back to MLS, or he needs to go back to MLS. I'm not saying Hoppy in this situation, but insert random players struggling in Europe. I'm sitting there going, normally I'm like, well, this person's already in Europe. Why would they choose to go back to MLS, go back to MLS when they're already in Europe? Why not just go down a division, go to a smaller team somewhere else?
He can't go down another division.
That's the thing, though. The problem is he's been in championship. He's gotten some looks. But then he went to Scotland and didn't play dick there.
Not much.
So I don't know. I mean, you know more than I do about anything there. Maybe not. But
I haven't really had much. Yeah. So
all I know is that something's amiss. He's too talented to be in SPL, or at least not playing in the SPL. He's just too talented not to be. And that's based off a very limited experience of me watching him in Bundesliga, me watching with the Nats. Maybe things have changed. I don't know.
Because he seemed coming from Schalke to the Nats that year and watching him play for us. I thought this kid's got some fire. So much so he told Greg to fuck off when he was taken off. He's got fire, but maybe that's the same thing that gets him in trouble with not only his coaches, but his teammates. But I don't know that for a fact. I've never asked about that. I didn't want to get that personal about it. So, but I really
the interview we had and everything where I even asked him, like, is he that cocky in real life as he is on the pitch?
And he said he's a good Christian religious kid.
He's a very nice, sweet kid off the pitch. When he's on the pitch, he's a different kid.
He's an animal.
Yeah. So,
all right, Sebastian Soto's career is.
One sec. Ash says, "Go for it."
Yeah, Gio Acchini went to. I used
That's
to
why I wanted you to say it, because I butcher his name all the time, and people in the chat like spelling it out very phonetically for me later on.
I know. I always want to say Gio Caccini, but it's not. It's Gio Acchini. Went to MLS, and he's been starting for St. Louis, and he's been doing pretty damn good, I would say, too.
It's a shame, though, he wasn't mentioned as a contender for Gold Cup.
It's like very weird.
He was on the last Gold Cup cycle. He did pretty damn well. And now he's playing consistently and doing well at St. Louis. You imagine that he should have been in contention. I imagine there are a couple players in that Gold Cup squad that I could say, well, he should have been there over him.
You know who else was playing well for St. Louis alongside Gioacchini was Indiana Vasilev.
He's in St. Louis now?
Yeah. And neither of them.
Still technically signed with Aston Villa, or is he out?
No, he's long gone.
Okay.
He's long gone. Yeah. So I thought they both started off the season really hot. So I thought maybe they might be called in instead of Roldan and Morris and the usual clowns that we call in. But no, I guess not. But yeah, I thought that that move for Gioacchini at first, I thought, why are we doing this? But it didn't help him for the national team. I guess if you go to Europe and then come back to MLS, Greg doesn't like that, but I don't know. If you stay in MLS, Greg likes that. I don't know.
Fair, this was BJ's call, so
yeah. Jacob Ramirez, where was the transfer news intro? Now, this really wasn't a transfer news yet.
Not yet.
No, right now what we're doing is talking about players that are on life support, like their careers are in life support. And my next one was Sebastian Soto.
It's always been on life support from the get-go.
Yeah, since leaving Hanover and going to Norwich. Norwich.
There you go. Say it right.
Yeah, I don't need any of you English people to go, it ain't Norwich, it's Norwich. Whatever. Norwich. Yes.
So there's a TikTok handle out there that's at the Women's World Cup, and they're pulling aside a bunch of fans from other countries, and they did Ireland, and then most recently did England, and they pulled those fans aside and basically like, hey, try to do your best American impersonation.
Oh God.
What accent do you think came up first?
Something
across
like
the
George Bush's Texas accent.
So generally speaking, yeah, it's usually either
like
a stereotypical Southern accent or Valley Girl. Those are the two accents that come up consistently.
If they're talking to a lot of young Americans these days, yes, Valley Girl makes completely sense, because even guys who are young nowadays talk like fucking Valley Girls.
Like, oh my God.
Like it was crazy. Like Bob came over and then we were partying and drinking. And then all of a sudden he tripped on this rock and his pants fell down and his dick hit him in his forehead. It's like weird. Yeah, people talk weird now. They talk weird.
In the quote, somebody that was trying to do their best impersonation, some lady with the Valley Girl accent asked for a burger with chips. Come on, man.
He's about to get a bag of Frito-Lays then, dumb cunt. All right.
So Southern and the Valley Girl are the two obvious ones that always pop up consistently when you ask, "Hey, what's your best American?" It's like when it comes to say, "Hey, do your best English impersonation." You bring up your Dick Van Dyke, Cockney accent, thick Cockney accent.
Yeah.
But,
Well, you
Yeah.
know what's funny? Going back 70 years from now, if you were English and you watched American TV, you'd think Americans talk like this. Welcome to the New York Yankees Stadium. Today, the Yankees will play Cleveland. Make sure you tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the game starts. Yogi Berra will be throwing out the first pitch in honor of Babe Ruth. Okay. I mean, that's how we used to talk, at least the on the TV voice personalities talk,
Sure.
So fucking weird. You think about that now.
Different take when you start watching stuff like like Soul Train and stuff like that. I mean, all of a sudden, accents completely.
Well,
change.
yeah. Then it's different, but that was the 70s and late 60s. We started getting shows like that and the hippie movement, and then people started talking like, "Yeah, man, Nixon's."
That puts California for everything here.
Nixon's a fucking crook, man. Pass the doobie, man. That's when you got that coming on. It was like the precursor to Valley Girl. A lot of man instead of man with the Valley Girls. It's like, hey, like, you see that guy like over there? Like, he's really funny looking. Like, he's funny. He's also funny looking. So it's like he's double funny. Like, you know what I mean?
Like the,
fuck you and your lights.
The Muppet Army or Muppet band or whatever. That one chick.
Yeah.
She always had that hair. She's like,
yeah,
man.
This is groovy. All right. Where the fuck was I? Sebastian Soto. He's in Klagenfurt. Klagenfurt is like this tiny little village in around the mountains or whatever, somewhere in Austria, which is not surprising, obviously. And I mean, it must be nice to live there.
99% of their land.
It's a beautiful view. It's a beautiful view from the city. There ain't much to do, I would guess. I don't know. I've never been to Klagenfurt. Doesn't sound like a real hip place. But you know what? Sebastian Soto played 11 games and scored 1 goal last season for one of the really lower teams. Not so good teams in Austria. Not one of the premier Austrian teams. It's not like he's scoring for Red Bull Salzburg or something or playing for them. He's playing for Klagenfurt. All right. And then Otis Sowie. Does he even have a club anymore? Because his career.
Why do we talk about him anymore? Come on.
I'm just talking about people's careers
we
that are on life support.
We don't talk about any other models. Why do we keep bringing him up?
Because he had a fucking contract last year, and you thought, all right, here's your big opportunity for a big club, or a big club in that league, and he was a complete no-show.
It is utterly fascinating to me that you could actually have a player on contract that has zero chance of doing anything for anybody. Quite frankly, it's just
no. He's done. He fucked himself.
Yeah.
I would say Stefan's career is on life support. I think he's an almost going back to MLS guy too.
He's what, currently 27, 26, 27, 28?
There was those rumors about Leicester. Those don't seem to be true. I don't know if I was a championship team last year and I watched how he played for Middlesbrough, I wouldn't be hunting down Stefan to play for my team. He had a poor season, dude. He made way too many mistakes.
Guess it depends where you're at in the championship. You might want to, because who else are you going to get?
I mean, I don't think he's got a lot of options. I don't know where he's going to go. Who wants him? Jason Gonzalez Ortega for $1.99. Thank you, brother. Say what y'all want. Soto is better than Jesus. I ain't saying that, Jason. I'm not saying that.
At that point, you basically have to go off of one of two things. You have to be going off of purely his youth career, or you don't rate Jesus at all. I'm not saying that Soto isn't skilled. That's not his problem. Soto's problem is right up here between the two ears. He's got no brains. And so that's a problem. If you're born with no fucking brains and no sense of commitment, no sense of hard work. Yeah.
But I think that if a guy like the Pirate, Jack Sparrow, goes to Austria, I think he scores bundles of goals in the Austrian league. I guarantee you he starts every game. He's playing 11 games for Klagenfurt. He's starting every game for Klagenfurt because
I think at this
his
point,
dog hunts. His dog hunts. Soda's dog takes naps.
Yeah. Halftime for Chicago, still drawn. 0-0.
Hey, I bet you that motherfucker who was called me a fraud doesn't know anything about Klagenfurt. No, I bet you he doesn't even know where it is.
In fairness, outside of the fans of Klagenfurt, I don't think anybody does.
I bet you he doesn't even know who Sebastian Soto is. All right, and I don't blame him actually for not knowing.
No.
Christopher Howman for $2. Thank you, brother. I'm a bit worried about Horvath. You should be. You should be. Luton want nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
He's at Nottingham Forest, and Nottingham Forest are talking about bringing in Turner.
No.
Is that part of transfer news? All right, I'll do it. Transfer news. Everybody loves that transfer news, but me. I fucking hate it. But yeah, that is part of transfer news. So you got Horvath at Nottingham Forest, but you think so poorly of Horvath. You're like, we're going to go out and get Matt Turner.
Where was it? It's not even in this one, but it's somewhere else. I read it somewhere else. Like the former assistant coach at Luton, who's now somewhere else, was absolutely shocked that it is Luton, right?
Luton, yeah. Luton Town.
Kind of, he was honestly surprised that Luton had no interest in keeping Horvath, given the stuff that they said about him at the end of the season. So,
I mean, it's not like he had a bad season. He just wasn't challenged very often. That's not his fault.
Yeah.
There were so many games where he faced like one shot a game or two shots a game. So that's not his fault. I thought he did well when he was generally pressured, which wasn't often. So I don't know. It's kind of weird to me because when I compare Steffen's season with Horvath's season, I see a successful season for Horvath, and I see a very accident-prone season for Steffen. So to me, Horvath probably has a career somewhere else in the championship if somebody will sign him. I don't know if I'm a championship team, I'm signing Steffen. I don't think I would. Not after what I saw last season. That's all. That's what it's based on. This ain't the Steffen from 5 years ago. This ain't the same kid. It ain't the same guy. The confidence is gone in that guy.
No, I'll agree with you on that. Yeah, 100%.
It could come back. It could come back.
Sure. Anything's possible, I guess.
Maybe.
Well, I guess while we're on this news, Turner to Forest. What's your take on that? I
think it's fine. I mean, I
it's
wouldn't
a
mind.
permanent transfer. It would be a move from Arsenal permanently to Forest.
You're taking a risk because it is a team that is going to be fighting for its life all next season. So he's going to get lots of shots.
Guaranteed playing time too, though.
But he's a great shot stopper.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not necessarily a team that always relies on playing out of the back, which is not necessarily a big ass weakness anymore with Turner. He's shown he can do some of that. Not like before where he could do none of it. I know there are people saying we're being harsh on Steffen. I don't want to be harsh on Steffen. I don't. But there are too many games last season where he made colossal. Like when I watched the highlights, because that's sometimes all I got to watch with Steffen. There are too many games where I watched the highlights and he was the guy fucking up and costing them a game and costing them a goal. So, I mean, I don't know. In the end, is he the reason, they didn't climb to the top of the championship and win the whole goddamn? No, probably not. But he didn't blow anybody's mind away last season. Let's just put it that way. Whereas Horvath was just solid and mostly unchallenged. So there you go.
Yeah.
For Luton. That's funny. How many different ways do you think Luton could be pronounced? Luton? Luton.
You know what? I wouldn't put anything past my pronunciation. Look at Leicester. I mean that you look at that name and you're sitting there like that can't be how you pronounce that.
It looks like Leicester or something. Yeah,
Luton was probably pronounced flog. For all I know.
If you don't want me to pronounce the W in Norwich, then take the fucking W out, motherfuckers. All right.
God, man, just looking over the table.
It's kind of
for
like
EPL, where Force is going to likely land.
near the bottom 5.
They will definitely be contending for that, yeah.
Yeah. But it is like that old joke. What's that? Why do the British say herbs? And as the famous comedian once said, because it's got a fucking H in it, motherfucker. That's why we pronounce it herbs in England. All right. Yeah, so they're going to be struggling, but I do think it would be good because I think there's a chance they could survive. And if they go down to the championship, I mean, is it really life-ending for Matt Turner? No, he's still going to be our number 1.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Who's going to be contending at this point? Again, we just got over the fact that that Horvath is struggling because he doesn't have a spot right now. He could be playing backup to Turner this season, assuming that Force keeps him and doesn't just loan him back out.
But that's back to Horvath's. He
history.
likes that.
Yeah. That's where he enjoys that. He enjoys riding that English pine.
For a year and a half on this show, when people were benched, we didn't even say they were benched. We said they were Horvath.
Taking a Horvath, yeah.
Because that's what he did. He just fucking likes to ride the pine.
Jonathan Miller brings up another English pronunciation.
Derby is pronounced Derby. Laughing my ass out. Yeah, they got a lot of weird shit going on there, but I guess they invented the language so they can do whatever they want with it.
Yeah. I'm saying Luton, and all of a sudden it's pronounced Luton or something like that. I don't know. So
do you think Pepe's ceiling is PFC, DSV, or better? God damn it. Well, by the way, to clear my throat tonight, I'll be drinking a Chimay Reserve. Fantastic beer. Absolutely one of the best in the world. I highly recommend it. It's almost 10%, I think, so it'll fuck you up real fast, too. Not that I need that, because my memory is already shit. No, I do think that Pepe's ceiling could be higher than PSV. I think PSV is a launching ground for a better team down the road, assuming he does what we all think he will do, which is go there and score lots of goals because he's going to get a lot more service than he got at Groningen. That's right.
There you go.
Groningen.
Dick learned. So,
oh my God. No, I so know that. How many games did I watch this year with you?
Ridiculous amount.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
When you was like, no, it wasn't Groningen, I'm like, shit, where the fuck did I come up with Groningen then? Jesus.
I was like, wait, Groningen, they're green. They're the green team. Did Pepe wear green all this season? I don't remember.
Oh, fuck. Jordan Morrison's dog won the pronunciation issue. They pronounce soccer, football. So
football. Okay. What else on the transfer news side? Were there any other players who were in the doghouse?
Well, I guess let's finish that. Yeah.
One more.
Okay.
Not on life support, but
George Vella. Oh no.
Being driven to the hospital because they're having sort of a panic attack. Brendan Aronson. Got to do something at Union Berlin this year. Got to. Yeah. Or else your stock's going to drop like a fucking rock after what you just did at Leeds. He's got to go to Union Berlin and actually play and play well. And play regularly. He's got to impress. Otherwise, back to the fucking Austrian Bundesliga for you, dude. Seriously. You got to impress this season. I'm not saying he needs to be like play 90 minutes a game, but I'd like to see him at the beginning of the season play 15 minutes a game, maybe become an alternative starter, and by the end of the season play about 30 games and have a handful of assists and maybe 1 or 2 goals. I need him to do something this year to prove he's not just a chump who falls over at the slightest breeze.
David D agrees with me. He says, yes, totally agree. He's going to get passed by youngsters.
Could get passed by his brother.
Could. We'll see. Maybe what you're saying is he needs to accept the Union Berlin's version of Paxton, where he comes in for 15 minutes here. Maybe he starts in a game. Well, that's not a Paxton role yet, but he was at least getting a relatively consistent minutes
at the end of the season.
So props to him on that. We'll see what happens. I think he'll do better. I think he's going to do better in Bundesliga than he would.
He should do better. That's why I'm saying,
given the level of physicality, his
Yeah.
ability of not necessarily just getting pummeled off the ball will allow him to play a more complete role, I think.
you hope. And that's
Fingers
the thing.
crossed.
What if he doesn't?
No, then he's
That's a
gonna
lot
fall
of
down.
pressure.
He's gonna fall down the pecking order just like any other player at this point.
Correct. Yes, he will.
We can't hold back on some previous performances. Like he maybe have had a couple of games during qualifying that were really good. He scored a couple of nice goals. Did well while Pulisic and Reina were injured. But since going to EPL, he's kind of been a shadow of himself. Whether he's anticipating a pummeling from behind or a clip from side, I don't know. Can't tell. But hopefully he'll get that rectified here in the Bundesliga.
He started out well in the Premier League. First 4 or 5 games, with Jesse's system, high press, looked great. He was a dog. He was an African dog. But then it all fell apart. And
He took that speech to heart, man.
Yeah, people start figuring out his game, man. They're like, this guy ain't going to do nothing in the box. Let him dribble all the way here.
Yeah.
Who cares? Then we'll shoulder him. He'll fall over.
Well, no, that's the thing. He's like, okay, he's going to create these chances. Sure, why not? Who's it going to go to? Bamford? Whatever.
Well,
He's just going to fuck it up anyways.
That leads me to another guy, a part of our dual players on a team, right? You got Pifak and Aronson on the same team at Union Berlin. And Pifak's got to do something this season too, because he lost his starting role. He stopped scoring. Even though he was getting 10 minutes at the end almost every single game, he couldn't score anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't put a header in. He was missing some sitters. Well, they weren't like give-me's, but I mean, there were balls he was finishing early in the season. And he even said, I was my worst enemy.
Yeah.
I fucked up. I didn't deserve to be called up to the national team.
If I recall correctly, remembering how many opportunities, like the chances of scoring against the goals actually being scored, people were predicting Union Berlin to eventually falter out because they were scoring well above their chances created type of thing.
Peter out.
Yeah. And that might have been along those lines where, he comes in for the final 10 minutes. How much is Union really pressing at that point to score more goals? I mean, are they sitting back further in most of those games and he's sort of sitting up there trying to collect some long driven balls? Either way, he's not scoring. And I agree. He does need to do something this season because even in the U.S. men's national team striker pool, he's fallen so far in depth.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's not even in the top 5, unfortunately.
He's not even in the discussion right now. And that was so sad because at the beginning of the season, he and Becker had such the chemistry together, It looked like something great. And then now they brought in, I can't remember pronounce his name. It's like Barons or something like that. Basically stole the spot. Didn't score a whole lot of goals, but scored more than, Pifak was doing. So, and then the injury didn't help either. So those two compatriots that have the same team, it'll be fun to watch. It'll be another team with 2 Americans, so it's one less game we have to watch, which is great.
Given the number of Yanks in Germany at this point, you're more likely to find those 2 playing at least against one other Yank.
Yeah, no shit.
We got Gladbach, we got Dortmund, we got Wolfsburg, we got Frankfurt. I mean,
yeah,
the team's just going. You're more likely to find 2 Americans playing against each other in Bundesliga than anywhere else.
I see in the comments people saying Aronson's trash. Pifak was always mid. That could be correct. That could be the final assessment based on what they do this next season. And I'm not saying it's all down to next season, but next season's pretty goddamn important for both of them because both of their arches are heading the wrong direction. And if they don't turn it around, that is Pifak and Aronson, then they're trending downwards, not upwards. And that means they have a good chance of not being called up going forward. So there you go. Pifak has the second most goals of any U.S. men's national team player in the last 2 years. Al, that's true, but you're talking about the last 2 years, and nobody ever cares about anything but the last season.
Well,
not the
and
season
also,
before that season, but the last season.
also
And even Peacock admitted and said he dropped off, he dropped the ball, he didn't deserve to be called up. So
well,
there you
Derek, who was he with the last season prior to this season?
the Swiss team.
Young boys.
Young boys. See, I'm not completely stupid. I do remember some things.
And how many of those goals? I mean, he scored 5 in Bundesliga. I think what do you have in the Swiss league?
Oh, he scored
Like
a bundle.
20.
No, he scored a bundle.
Or whatever.
Exact number's not important. He was scoring out of his ass.
My point being is, yes, he does have the second most goals, but most, like 80% of those goals are all scored for the pretty much the only team in Switzerland. Minus
Young boys
here and there type of thing
are so much better. I mean, not historically, they're not always so much better, but they're generally much better than all the other teams. Occasionally, a Basel step up or somebody else, but Grasshoppers or whatever. But
Grasshoppers.
Not Grasshoppers. Was it Grasshoppers? I think it is Grasshoppers. But this is going back to the 80s and 90s.
I can't take the Swiss league serious. If they've got young boys and the Grasshoppers, no. Come on, you're yanking my chain, aren't you?
I'm not. I don't know.
I guess that's no different than calling the earthquakes or the fire, right? Whatever. I guess
I actually prefer Grasshoppers. Sounds like a better name to me.
Whatever.
I like that name.
Whatever. You know. They have. You have Hercules. You got or Heracles. Everyone to word it.
I was walking.
I mean, there's so many incredibly strange names that you hear, and you're like, "There's no way that's an actual team."
I like Heracles. Grasshoppers is a fucking great name for a team. Young boys? I don't know about young boys.
Well, the connotation behind that's really weird. Yes,
sounds a little pedo. But you probably just got our show canceled right there. You can't use that word, I don't think, live.
Don't worry, some monetized. We don't care.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck.
We can do whatever we want as long as we're not, getting strikes of it for them.
Go ahead, Eagles. I like that name too.
Yes,
I really do. I like
that. Was the other one I was trying to think of. Yes.
Go ahead, Eagles. I love that name. Fucking love it. There's also a team in I can't remember, somewhere in Scandinavia called Fart something. It's Fart something. Anyhow, yeah. So there's some weird
Soylent but deadly.
Look at Raymond C. soiling my name. Does Derek love the young boys? No, not really.
No.
Not my bag,
not
baby.
At all. Not at all, Derek.
Not my thing. All right.
Not at all.
Not a sicko. All right. I'm a sicko in a lot of ways, but that ain't one of them. That ain't one of them. All right. So do we have any more transfer news?
We have a bunch of stuff, actually.
Okay, let's do it.
We'll focus purely on transfer news, and we'll bounce back to some of the other fluff. All of the fluff this week happens to be soccer related, oddly enough.
Yep, soccer related fluff, all of it.
Yeah.
That was your transition sound.
Yeah.
Okay, Sheffield United have agreed on a deal to sign Austin Trusty for around $5 million. Okay, that's interesting. That's a pretty low fee for Sheffield United, who are just entering the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
From Arsenal, an agreement is in place with the club. Not quite there yet on personal terms, but it shouldn't be an issue. Well, if you're fucking Trusty, you're like, okay, you only want to pay me so much? Okay, fine. I want to play in the Premier League. Yes, I'm signing. Just give me like 1,000 more a week or something.
So for Trusty, this has to be win-win, right? Because he's not going to play for Arsenal. That's never going to happen.
Oh, hell no. That's
nothing against Trusty, but you're talking about a very select number of opportunities and positions for him to be playing at a high level, Whereas at least with Sheffield right now, he's going to be playing it. If he does go, he will play in EPL. And if worse comes to worse, they get relegated, he's right back down to the same level he was playing the year before, but on a top team instead of a bottom team.
If Sheffield play 3 in the back, which is possible, very likely actually, then he has a good chance to fight his way onto that starting lineup. Sheffield United are going to get slaughtered next season. I'm just telling you. They are going to be cannon fodder right from the start.
And it's strange. A couple rare victories, and they could probably be contending for that relegation spot. But no, that's it. Yeah.
If Trusty does play, this could be a big eye-opening season for him. He could get
again. The worst case scenario is he's back to where he's most likely going to get loaned out to anyways. It's Championship. And
Yeah,
he's
I mean,
not
it's a
making
no
it-
lose proposition for him. If he does well, that's great, but more than likely, this Sheffield United team is going to be fighting to stay alive all fucking season long. Unless they do something shocking I don't see coming.
Sure. I mean, anything's possible, I guess.
I mean, we've seen weird shit. I mean, Fulham finished 10th, I think, right? 10th or 11th last season?
Yeah, I think it was above 10th, actually. I think it was like 9th.
9th?
I mean,
It doesn't matter. They finished mid-table. They were supposed to be cannon fodder all season last season, and they weren't.
Yeah.
But, hey, Austin Trusty's no fucking Tim Ream, all right?
True.
So there's
Yeah,
that.
they finished 10th. You're right.
Yeah. So we'll see how he does. This will be really, I think, a good learning experience for him.
This is win-win for him because he's gonna get the playing experience. He's gonna play. And again, worst case scenario, Sheffield goes back down. He's back in the championship, which he was doing well with Birmingham. It was Birmingham, right?
Yep.
No, it was Groningen. You're right. Sorry.
Quit rubbing that Groningen memory.
Oh no!
Oh, I'm such a dumbass.
All right, well, not a bad move for Trusty if it happens.
All right.
Hold on a sec. There we go.
Source: New York Red Bull New York have rejected a bid from Mainz for John Tolkien and do not plan to sell this summer. Leipzig still trying to sell him on their long-term plans that he can be a Bundesliga player in the future. Salzburg loan is an option in 2024. Is that a picture of John Tolkien with dark hair? Because he looks way better than he looks with that stupid haircut he's got now.
Yeah.
Way better. This is a way better do and a way better look for John Tolkien.
No, I agree wholeheartedly on that. When you start seeing people like Reina and Scally, and they're bleaching their hair. We used to have we used to say back when we played high school, there used to be teams who would like bleach blonde their hair for sectionals and shit. And it's like we always joke around like for sectionals.
Oh, it sounded like you said for sexuals.
Yes.
That's true. That's what I heard.
Same thing. You played in sectionals, you got some sectionals, right? Well, yeah, we always talk about how like when teams would bleach their hair, you knew that they were going to lose.
Yeah,
because
that's just some.
I won't say what we really said about it, but
it's just some immature shit to do. That's all.
Yeah. So I know that obviously this is transfer news, but you're right. It definitely looks better with that do, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Mainz, if you're Red Bull and you have plans for the future, obviously the plans are this: Salzburg, then Leipzig. If you really believe in him, that's the route you want to take, right? So I think he's still got a chance moving forward. We'll see how he continues to develop. I mean, I like John Tolkien. I think he's got a lot of growing up to do, though. A lot of growing up to do. So,
yeah. No, I think 100%.
He gets kind of lackadaisical and he's almost too relaxed for me sometimes. I'm like, dude, don't try to look too cool for school, buddy. You got to fucking sometimes you got to, barrel up and fight for shit. But other than that, he's got some potential. I don't want to say he doesn't have I don't want to say he's got a ceiling I can see, but I'm not sure how high that ceiling goes.
I guess the big question here is it on par ceiling wise? Is it on par with somebody like Sam Vines? I feel like he's above Bello at this point.
Oh, Bello, come on.
That's what I'm saying. He's above Bello, but I mean the question is, will his ceiling be above Vines?
Yeah, Bello's lucky to start for a USL team at this point.
Where's he off to now? I forgot. He just got traded, didn't he?
I think he's in Austria. I think he's with Lask.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, I think that's it.
How I know that, folks, I do not know. See, I don't know how I know some shit, and I don't know other things. All right.
Mike H says Tolkien said he wears crazy hair because he knows he's balding and is trying to get his funky hairdos in while he can. The funny thing about this is I tell that to Jackson all the time. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, but you're going to get to a point where you're going to start balding. Get all your goofy haircuts in now. You want to dye your hair? Dye your hair. If you want to get a mohawk, get a mohawk. Do it all now because, unless they figure out a way to cure baldness properly, not just stapling in hair, plugs.
Yeah.
Garbage shit like that, then you're going to be fucked. You might as well just go shave your head at that point. But get your goofy shit in now. Do it now.
I see that Al Weinstein, by the way, is saying that Fulham get relegated as well. I just want to say this. Am I wrong, Al? But did I not read yesterday that Mitrovic has returned to the first team for practice? If I'm wrong there, let me know. But I thought I read that yesterday.
Saw somebody mention his name recently.
And if that's the case and he ends up staying, some miracle.
Speaking of Fulham, how about Jimenez replacing Mitrovic? That was from Joey.
I would take Mitrovic, frankly, because I've been watching him play for several seasons in a row, many, and I like Mitrovic. I would hate to lose him as a Fulham guy. Mm-hmm. That would hurt to lose him at this point. So I hope they do hold on to him. I took some sort of solace in the fact that he returned to the main team and is practicing with the main team again. I thought maybe that meant there was good news. I may be wrong, but that's the news I read a day
maybe Fulham
ago.
Want to pony up. Maybe Fulham want to pony up the cash and get Balogun. That'd be nice. Then we have 3 Yanks on one team. Look at that.
Well, I think we've seen how that works out, Brett. So let's just stick to 2.
2 is the magic number, apparently, huh?
It is 2. It's the magic number. Yes,
oddly
it
enough,
is.
Mike H says 2 bald dudes talk about dudes bad looking haircut. Derek's not balding.
Dude, I ain't bald. Just because I wear this fucking hat doesn't mean I'm bald. Come on, man. Give me some credit.
I'll proudly exclaim that I am in fact balding, so it doesn't bother me whatsoever.
2 bald dudes. That's quite an assumption just because I'm wearing a hat. No, I got hair underneath there. It ain't much, but it's hair.
Lopez says, they can get the hair from your ass now. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that, and they plug it into your head.
Look at that, I guess.
They wash it first, though.
Yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Yeah.
They wash it, then plant it in your head. Yeah, the whole follicle and everything. And then you have all these spots, red spots on your asshole where they took it away, the hair away. Mitrovic is staying after all, wasn't going to Saudi. That was the big rumor. And it's like, dude, don't you fucking dare do that to my fucking team. Stay, Mitrovic. Please stay. I'm not okay, the backup guy, I think his name is Vinicius. It starts with a V. I think it's Vinicius. Not that Vinicius Jr., but I think his name starts with a V too.
And you don't even know who the backup for.
I forgot. Backup striker. He came in, he filled in, he did some good stuff, but he's not mind-blowing. He's not a mind-blowing guy. In fact, they actually played Bobby Cordova-Reed at center forward at times while Mitrovic was out after that stupid thing he did with the ref. So he's good, but I don't know. It bugs me. I don't think that he's a starter that we need. We need Mitrovic back. He's our guy. He needs to stay. And it's who everybody on the team is comfortable with, except for Jedi, who crossed it to him 80 times last season and couldn't get a single goal. So to a guy who's 6'2", 6'3", Mitrovic, 6'4", even maybe he could be taller than that for all I know. All right. What happens when the Saudi league starts buying the decent MLS players? And they're not going to do that.
Let's take a break. Let's take a break from transfer news and start talking about the Saudi league since we're here.
Yeah, they're not going to do that, Jose. Because if they're going to spend money, big money, they're just going to go buy the players from Europe.
See, that's the funny thing too, because any decent player from MLS, I mean, you're going to be talking about 10 million plus.
What are they going to go out and get?
Who else could you possibly get from Europe for that price? I mean, come on.
They're going to get your guy Shaqiri. Let's go get Shaqiri from MLS.
Actually, we might want to keep a hold of him. I'm not sure how much longer Guti is going to be in Chicago.
I mean, name a player in MLS the Saudis are going to buy, and we're going to be like, oh, shit.
Messi.
No, Messi already said no. He don't want to play for Saudi in the Saudi league. So,
yeah, why would he want to go there when he can just chill in Miami? I agree. And I don't think so. That was kind of a snide comment. I know that there's obviously you have the players like Cashley Cole who came in and it's like, oh, I'm not ready to retire and sit on a beach, so I don't want to play for MLS. And then a year later he signs with for MLS. Fuck him. I'm sure Messi's going to come out and he's going to put all he can into the game each game, week in, week out.
He seems to be taking it pretty seriously.
Yeah. So my point to that would be like, why would he want to go to Saudi Arabia when he can get super crazy amount of money from MLS, and after a game go prop his legs up on a nice beach house in Miami? I'm just saying.
I don't think that MLS is sitting around worrying about the fact that they couldn't get Ronaldo or Benzema or Mahrez or Firmino or any of those guys. I don't think they give a fuck. They seriously don't care. Like, if they could have gotten some of them, that would have been nice. But the fact that they don't, then these guys are going to go off for a year or 1 year or 2 years to go play. Doesn't mean they're still not going to come back and play in MLS before it's all said and done. But there's no point in MLS trying to compete with that kind of money, because they can't compete with that kind of money. And they can't compete in the old days with the Chinese money when the Chinese league did this too. All right, so
I mean,
it's just,
when they offer Mbappe $750 million, and Mbappe says, "Nah, I don't want to go, bro." I mean, that should have ended the conversation there, right? At that point, the Saudi league is no longer in contention, right?
Listen, if you don't see a trend here of the kind of players they're going after, they ain't gonna come after MLS players. All right, that ain't happening. Messi's already said no. Alba's coming here too as well, right? So,
and so people, as this question mentions here, what is this? The down below says Don Garber said he was not threatened by the Saudi Pro League a couple weeks ago. They have now signed one of the league's best players. The big thing is, and I think the league's best players, he's talking about Messi signing him. The big thing is why would MLS care?
No. What he's talking about there is Lucas Zelarayan was signed.
No.
By the Saudis.
I'm referring to MLS Multiplex.
I know, but the player he's talking about, they have now signed one of the league's MLS's best players, Lucas Zelarayan. Yes. So what? They're not worried about that. They could care less. So what? MLS does not care about losing one guy. They don't care. I mean, if they lost Messi, then they might care. They would care about that. But they won the Messi battle. And guess what? As far as like players go that are still at the top of their game, and we weren't seeing a massive fall off like we were starting to see with Ronaldo, Messi's still playing really good fucking football. All right. Now, Mahrez would have been a great player to come here, but no one could afford a guy like that. I'm sorry. Benzema. Who's going to pay for that? It would have to be either LA Galaxy and they already have restrictions on what they can do because they fucked up and cheated. Maybe the other LAFC team. But a player like Benzema ain't going anywhere but Galaxy, LAFC, Miami. I mean, can you name another club big enough for Benzema? I can't. I mean, that's fucking Ibra big, right? That's an Ibra style player. That's a player that need to go to one of the three biggies, or one of the two biggies, or Miami being big in the sense that Beckham owns him, and it's in Miami. Right, so
there's definitely teams of clout in that sense, but I guess my whole argument here is when Dong Lover said,
Dong Gobbler,
when he says I'm not threatened by the Saudi Pro League, my point is, why should he? There's literally who fucking cares if Saudi Pro League goes out.
Where's the Saudi TV rights? Money. What channel do I watch that on?
Who fucking cares? It has zero impact on MLS.
Is that going to be the same channel that Live Golf was on that no one watched? Live Golf. Anybody watch that on a regular basis? Some asshole's
we
going to
just
go,
pronounce
I
it
did.
right.
Someone's going to raise their hand and say, I watched all the Live Golf tournaments. No, you didn't, dude. It was impossible to find on TV. I know it existed, but nobody went out of their way to watch Live Golf. That's just what this is. And Live Golf has some of the best golfers on their tour. Brooks Koepka, Mickelson.
Is saying it's Saudi League's going to be on ESPN.
Well, shame on fucking ESPN. That's ridiculous. Seriously? ESPN barely cared about MLS, and now they're going to fucking play the Saudi
There
League.
you go. That's a spite to MLS.
What a bunch of dickless wonders.
Jose Lopez does say, I don't know, MLS starts losing young South Americans and some decent European talents, starts to look iffy.
No,
I mean,
but Saudi has...
Is the Saudi League really going to be pillaging South America?
That's not going to happen.
I mean,
because Saudi has very strict rules, unless they change, on how many Saudi players have to be on the team. So unless they change that rule, they're going to have about 3 or 4 foreign players on each team. Maybe 5, I think, is the max. I can't remember what the rule was. But right now, they're limited. They can't do that. You're not going to see Saudi soccer turn into what MLS has become. 3 Americans and the rest of the team all being fucking foreigners.
I seriously do wish I would change.
I mean, it's like 3 or 4 American starts. I think it's the average is 4 American start per MLS teams per game in MLS.
Thank goodness MLS is actually selling their academy players to Europe because they're certainly not playing them. So no,
I know.
I joke because obviously the number of young American players getting minutes in MLS has exponentially grown over the years.
It has.
But I would still. I look at Chicago. Obviously, I'm going to look at Chicago here. And I'm looking and I'm like seeing like, well, there's one center back, there's midfield, there's Gutierrez, and that's about it. And I was like, shit. And then goalkeeper, yes, goalkeeper. So I'm looking at 3 spots that are pretty much just American based there at that point. So I'm like, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
It's gotten a lot better. I think we went from averaging like 3 Americans playing per team across the season in MLS to 4 Americans starting per team per game in MLS. And I think we're close to like 4 point. I don't know. I didn't look at the number recently, but I was over 4. I think it was like 4.3 or 4.4. So we're getting almost 5 players. In some teams, it's very high. In some teams, it's not so high. And so the numbers balance themselves out. But
sure.
Hey, your guys just scored. Chicago just scored. I think it's Gutierrez. Yes, it is. It's Brian. Brian just put it in.
Damn right.
66th minute. They are up 1-0 on Puebla. And I haven't seen a replay yet. Wait. Somebody threw up an offsides flag. Hold on. Your coach is like, hey, go. He just did this. He's like, go watch it, bitch. That's onside.
It can't be Gutierrez. Gutierrez got subbed out in the 66th minute.
They got another guy named Gutierrez.
He came in. Sorry, I read it wrong. He came in.
I was going to like, what? You got 2 guys named Gutierrez?
We got 2 Gutierrez's. That's how we roll.
Gutierrez brothers? Here's the pass. Let's see if he's onside. Oh, that's sketchy. It was a cross by Shaqiri, fat boy. But he looked a little offsides. Let's see the replay here. And you said all they need's a tie here, a tie and loss in the.
It could be a tie and a loss. That's perfectly fine because that means Puebla would have 2 points. We still have 4 points.
Dude, waved off, no goal. Your coach is pissed. What's his name again? I forgot his name. I forget a lot of things. All right, Klopas. Thank you. I should remember.
I wanted to say Ezra at first, but I know Ezra got fired now.
Klopas.
Sidney Patel says, nah, Gutierrez scored, but it's offside.
Yep. Okay, so what else we got next? Fuck Saudi Arabia. Right in the asshole.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't care. Make sure.
Let's go. Since we're talking about MLS, let's talk about this.
Before you fuck Saudi Arabia in the ass, make sure you wipe it down because it's sandy. All right. Those grains do not feel good on the penis. I don't know if you ever had sex on a beach, but yeah, not good. All right.
I think Anakin Skywalker says best. Oh, I hate saying it's coarse. It's hard. It's rough, and it gets everywhere. So
somebody said his Altador is still at Puebla. No, he's back in MLS, mostly riding pine. All right.
Was that you watch your mouth with that when he's going for Puebla? They have better food.
I'm sure they have some good food in
Sure, I don't know
Puebla,
about
Mexico. Yeah, because Kansas City holds the territorial rights. If every 14-year-old could have mommy choose where to play, the best would not pick Kansas City. LAFC would have all the best prospects. All St. Louis has to do is pay the fee, and he can get signed. Everybody wins. Who are we talking about?
So there is a 15-year-old kid, 16-year-old kid, or whatever, that has basically come out. He wants to play for St. Louis, and but he's under the realm of Kansas City, and he doesn't want to play for Kansas City. So he says, "I'm not going to play for an MLS side." So he's going to probably sign for some USL side for a year or two, and then go to Europe at that point.
Fine.
So his point is KC holds the territorial rights, and my point is, I guess that's a Mickey Mouse rule that needs to go. At this point, who fucking cares? And why does he assume that LAFC would have all the best prospects? Does LAFC have a long-standing history? And I know there's
Of developing players? No.
Players through their academy and bringing them through the woodwork, and then
No, they don't.
Because my point, I brought up here ago. Why would LAFC have the best prospects? Are they known for producing the best academy players? FC Dallas would like to have a word.
Yes.
LAFC can only house so many kids. Perhaps the academies will need to improve what they have to offer players. St. Louis has a massive history with youth development. So it's stupid to say. Arguably, yeah, I know LAFC's had a lot of success over the past handful of years within MLS. But why would they get all the best prospects? Why would some middle America kid from Kansas / St. Louis area, why would they, that vicinity, I'm not sure where he's actually housed at, but why would he all of a sudden pick up his bags and his parents pick up their bags and just move to LA so that they can play for LAFC Academy? What does that benefit them?
Nothing.
I don't know. Nothing. I would imagine if being here in Indy, if my son were to say develop and to be a very good player and he could go to any academy he wants to, I'm picking an academy close to home. He's going to Chicago.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I think people are mentioning Josie Altidore doesn't have a club. I don't think he does. I don't think he came back to New England, did he? I thought I saw him play earlier this year, though, for New England. Am I wrong to say that I thought I saw Josie Altidore play some minutes for New England earlier this year, or am I losing my fucking mind?
Jackie says they cut him.
Okay.
And
well, it doesn't
terminate his contract.
Oh, wow. How old is he now? He's not even that horribly old. Is he like 36?
30. Josie knows he's like 32, is he not?
I thought he'd be more around 36. Let me check it out here.
Got it pulled up here. Hold on.
33?
Okay, there you go.
And his fucking career is done? Wow. He's had a number of injuries throughout his career that it makes sense that by 33 that either he's playing in USL or he's cut. I guess, dude. I mean, that's just sad. At 33, he should still be close to the top of his game. Shouldn't you at 33 as a striker who's 6'2" or whatever the fuck he is and built like a tank? He's not 34. I think he's 33, right?
I don't know. I thought you looked it up.
All right, hold on. 33. He's 33. Confirmed. Age 33. I don't know. At 33, I felt like $1 million still. Maybe it's just me.
By 33, I blew out my knee and I was never the same.
Well, no, I had the same problem, but the rest of me felt like $100.
Fair.
If I had a good knee, I could have still played.
You still get a good heart on and rock it out, yeah.
Oh, for sure. That's some of the best times of my life. 30s, my early 30s. All right.
I guess in this conversation on a stupid point here about as far as the academy system and everything like that, territorial rights, in my opinion, is one of the Mickey Mouse rules that need to go away. I'm not a big fan of Gamma Tam and everything like that, but at least that can make sense that you have that system set up to help equate things.
You
But
don't
the
need
territorial rights. You don't need the territorial rights.
You don't need it, number one, because
improves
most players and their families would prefer to go to the closest fucking option anyhow, right? Who wants to get up, move your whole family, buy a house, and move to a brand new fucking city just so Charlie can go fucking play in academy somewhere? No.
Yeah.
You go to the closest academy,
this is not,
typically
this is not
anyhow.
European. This is not Europe. It looks like Puebla just scored. Fuck, really?
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. Chicago, you're killing me, Smalls.
They score a goal.
We're moving on. We're talking here.
Who's playing goalkeeper? Is that Brady? I couldn't tell.
I don't know that. I'd have to take a look.
All right.
But yeah, so if you had a choice of academies, why would you choose LAFC at that point? I mean, outside of the fact that it's California,
You wouldn't.
You have the joys of 70 to 80 degree weather year round, whatever. But you look at, say, somebody like FC Dallas, or you look
still
at
have
New
to
York
live
Red
around
Bull.
that shithole that is Los Angeles, by the way. And listen, if you're going to pick one of the two LAs, you're going to go with LA Galaxy. They have a better history of developing players than
They've
LAFC.
got a longer history, yes.
Much longer. And playing some of
they
them.
developed Efren, right?
Yeah, I was just thinking that myself. Superstar, Efren Alvarez.
Superstar.
All right.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Let me close out a couple of these tabs real quick so I don't rehash old topics here. Well, let's talk about this, I guess. So, apparently on the Gegenpress.
Mm-hmm. Gegenpressing Bundesliga podcast. This is the time in the show where we dance. Do-do-dee, 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 Gegenpress. All right, you.
So, so they have this old conversation on this week's bonus. How so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. They keep going on about Dortmund.
Stefan and Manu sit down to discuss Manu's weekend buried in Borussia Dortmund training camp. A globe-trotting reporter sat down number of players and staff to discuss the arrival of Marcia Sabitzer, Emre Can being announced as the new club captain, and why Gio Reyna's days at the Bundesliga club may be numbered. No shit, really?
This got brought up on this podcast. Apparently, talking about Gio's days in the Bundesliga are numbered.
Did he catch a disease I don't know about, or what's going on here with Reyna?
I don't know.
The show about?
I never got to listen to the show. I stumbled across this minutes before our show started. You suggested, well, what is he just going to get transferred off to EPL or something like that?
I mean, if he's going somewhere, it's going somewhere just as good.
Fuck. I mean, Dortmund's not going to offload him unless they get paid.
He ain't going to Switzerland.
No.
He's not going to Austria.
He's going to he's either going to a big team in one of the 3, 4, 5 leagues, or he's going to an EPL side.
Yeah,
if his days are numbered. Again, this is just a rando podcast. Who knows?
But it's Stefan and Manu, which is short for Manuel. I don't know, dude. This is a weird headline or a weird descriptive passage.
Anybody in the chat, does anybody watch the Gegenpressing Bundesliga podcast?
Anybody watch this show and can tell us what the fuck they're fucking talking about? That he's
they look at Saudi, baby.
Yes, that was a Sprockets reference. Now's the time on the show when we dance. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do.
Like how we both did the same like robot-esque type dance to it.
Liebe meine Monkey Spiel. All right. That means love my monkey play.
I heard monkey, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Oh, you heard
like
monkey.
porn,
You speak English. All right, what else we got? Since we don't know what the fuck these dudes are saying.
Yeah, I would love more context,
yes.
But even in the conversation, it's not there. There's no conversation going on with this third. So
maybe they're not real popular. The show isn't that popular.
I don't know. We'll have to figure that out, I guess.
I mean, honestly, I don't watch a single podcast or listen to one. Do you?
No, not really.
I don't have time for it. When do I have time for that?
Well, fuck. I mean, I know my works keeps an eye on internet usage at work. So YouTube has to go by the wayside once school starts. And then at that point, pulling a podcast might be a good way for me to go.
Maybe.
I might be able to start pronouncing players' names properly.
Well, what fun would that be?
On top of that, no players that are at Barcelona. That might help too.
Berlin. Berlin
Chicago
Americana. Okay, let's see if this is onside.
Back at it, guys.
Every fucking goal seems to be questioned here. All right. We'll see what happens. The Mexican goalie's laughing. I don't know if he's Mexican. He plays for Puebla.
It's fair. That's a fair assumption.
Oh, was it Shaqiri? It's the Chunkster. The Chunkster scored.
Should have had an assist and a goal. This is his best game yet.
I was on Max Bretos' podcast.
It's been a bit.
That was fun for a whole hour.
When was that?
That was a year and a half ago.
Oh, okay. That's why I said it's been a bit, but you made it. Why did this randomly come up?
Because we're talking about podcasts. But that's the only real podcast I've gone on since I used to go on.
Sure. Looks like Dan W says red card for Puebla too.
All right. Yeah, I've been on a number of podcasts, but not lately. I think Max is the last one I was on. And I don't listen to podcasts because at work, I got to work. So when I come home, I watch YouTube shows of my fellow other YouTuber friends. And then I watch some Jimmy Conrad. I bounce around.
The difference is instead of listening to a podcast, you watch it on YouTube, similar to people watching our 2-hour specials. We joked about this today being an hour and a half long session. We're nowhere near this segment. I mean, I still got like 6 tabs pulled up here.
Okay, well, let's get to them. Let's get to them. Let's bust this.
We'll let some other transfer news up here in just a second. But I wanted to talk about a young goalkeeper, getting his debut for his club that you watched. You watched the Chelsea Fulham match.
Oh, it's Slonina.
And we talked about, we didn't talk about, we're going to talk about Slonina's performance in this. And now, mind you, I didn't get to watch the match. How did Ream didn't play because he's still injured, right?
He's injured.
How did
Jedi play? Not as good as I would have liked.
I know Chelsea ends up winning, at least. I'm assuming they win. They were up 2-0 before the highlights end here.
I thought Fulham generally looked a little disjointed in the game, and that includes Jedi. And I think there was one point in the game, it's like 30 minutes in, I saw Jedi getting like an all-out briefing on the sideline from the coach during a water break, I think it was. Or no, it was an injury break. And it was like, something's not right here. Something's not working for Fulham. They were missing Mitrovic. Let's be really clear. But, it's a friendly. So you got a lot of different players. Fulham still has some injuries. We talked about Ream.
Yeah.
There are other players still out with there's still other players out with injury. But it wasn't the greatest performance from Jedi.
I don't take any preseason match to heart when it comes to actual performances. Just because I mean it's safe to assume that most likely Chelsea will end up regaining their ground and topping Fulham moving forward. This last season obviously was a poor season for them.
I mean, I would think that Chelsea, under the leadership of their current manager, are going to have a much better season than they did last season.
Yeah.
I don't think Poach is going to take this shit lying down. And you could actually, during the game, at the beginning of the game or during a break, listen to him coaching up the team, which is really insightful because you don't get to hear that very often. And he was breaking it down for each of the players. Like, here's what you need to do differently. This needs to be shifted here. It was really interesting because I don't remember hearing that or getting to hear that in other games. So pretty cool. Yeah. But Slonina, he had nothing to do with this game. I think he had
watching this video by Justin. I mean, it literally was like the bulk of his touches occurred in the first 30 minutes because Chelsea played the ball to him like 500,000 times.
Yeah.
And he played it out. 90% of the time it was simple playouts, but there were times where he was pressured and he looked awkward with it. And that was questionable. I didn't know he's He's still young. He's still barely 20.
Well, it's not a super strength, is it?
It's not. Yeah, playing
Not
the ball,
playing out of the back.
his
It's
main
not.
strength.
Yeah.
But he looked really awkward. He looked Turner-esque awkward before going to Arsenal as far as getting the ball when he got pressured. Some of the times he just simply played the ball out of bounds. Other times he freaked out and played it forward. But like I said, most of the times he wasn't pressured. He was able to, distribute the ball well when he's not pressured. And he made, I think, one save. I think it was just a, nice little jump up punch, clear out of there type of save.
And now he's off to Belgium.
And again, I haven't seen that news. I know there are talks of him being loaned out, but I don't know if any of that's really been taken off.
Yeah, I think it's pretty possible he's off to Belgium. It'd be a good move for him. He's not going to play at Chelsea.
Oh, I 100% agree with you on that. Yes.
So go out and get some experience. I think the team was Eupen.
I think it's pronounced Luton.
No, Eupen or Eupen, I've been told, but I don't know which one's correct. So I have no idea. Anyhow, it's EUPEN. So that's going to be in the Belgian league, and that's good. He'll get to play. All right, what else we got?
Real quick, Leagues Cup update. Christian Ramirez scores.
All right. I hear Columbus is smoking America. Is that a new strand of weed? I don't know about. Haven't been
to 5 years, no pun. Yeah. I was telling Derek before the show started, it's nice because Chicago has been on fire of recent, and again, no pun necessary here.
Right,
They've just been on par as far as getting the wins when they need them, and it's nice to see. They're currently sitting nice and steady at 8th. I'm happy the fact that they're not just that eke-in playoff spot right now. Hopefully they continue to move up and don't have to worry about that shit, that playoff role, that play-in playoff role. But as far as league is concerned, as it stands right now, we'll take first in our group. That's nice.
All right, that's almost too much Chicago talk. What's the next topic?
Oh, it's more Chicago talk, actually.
No shit, really?
No, of course it's not.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Who cares about the Canada shit? It doesn't matter, but go ahead.
There's absolutely nothing between Inter and Jonathan David at this stage, not even a direct call. And also, the Balogun deal looks off, too.
Well, that's what we're getting into, yes.
No, I mean, the most recent update is the Balogun thing is done. It's off.
Yes, I know. That's what we're going to get into. So,
well, that's not what I'm reading here.
This was as of 2:41 this morning. And he said, and Fabrizio says, Balogun was and remains top target for Inter, but it depends on the price tag.
Well, that changed.
Well, it says that Inter's moved on because the price tag's clearly not there.
It's way too high, dude.
Yeah.
Way too high. It's ridiculous.
Apparently, Jonathan David is also too expensive for Inter.
Yes. But they're asking ridiculous amounts.
Yeah.
And that also means that he's going to have to go on loan again because no one can afford him even in the Premier League with the price they're asking for. So he's either going to go on loan.
Couldn't they have just loaned them to Inter with an option to buy? Wouldn't that have
That's what somebody said.
Wouldn't that have been a viable option? If you're looking like, well, we can't quite get the 40 million plus that we're asking for him. You're really interested in him? Well, why don't we loan you out? Why don't we loan you his services? And if you like him, then you pay us the money. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But
that seems like the obvious option, right?
Yeah. I mean, somebody's saying West Ham. I don't think West Ham's willing to pay that money. Because, listen, you have a kid who went to France, had one good fucking season. If you're going to pay 40 million for him, you better believe that season reflects the next 8 years, 6 years of his career. Otherwise, you just took a chance on a kid who had one good season in France, who looks pretty good. But we all know injuries can happen, fall off of confidence can happen, anything can happen. So you don't want to invest 40 million in a kind of still unknown quantity with a very basic level of evidence of what he's going to become. It's one season. It's too little. Now they loan him out again and he does it again. Then people might cough up the 40 million. If you do it 2 seasons in a row, let's say he does it in France, the next year he goes on loan to I don't know, Feyenoord or whatever, make it whatever team you want, and he does really well in Holland and he scores 20 goals. Yeah, then everybody's going to be like, hell yeah, now we're ready to pay up $40 million. But not yet. It's too early.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got? Yes, I saw that, by the way, Pete added an extra O at the end of Westerlo to make it Westerloo. I think he was thinking of Waterloo.
I think so.
Which is another town where the famous battle in which Napoleon lost to the Duke of Wellington and Marshal Blucher of the Prussians. But anyhow, we won't get into his Napoleonic history right now. Smart and pragmatic move for Reynolds. They wanted him back. He got signed back. Let's see if he can do better in the season coming up for Brian. He was a much larger mammal than I ever remember him being. And he's got to use those physical attributes in his game, I think, as a right back. I think we need to see more from him.
Here to stay. So this is a permanent transfer, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to play at Roma, so that was a good move.
No,
I'm sure they paid him pennies on the dollar for what they bought him for. And, I what are you going to say? Good move. It's a good move.
It's a good move, yeah. 100%. He can go back there, have another good season or two, and then look to move from there. You're right. He was never going to play at Roma. It just never panned out. But yeah, it's a good move, especially with it being a permanent. They wanted, like I said, we wanted him. We got him. So
I got to tell you, before we move on to the next topic, when you smell this, you get the distinct smell of like banana bread, raisins, plums, apricot. Oh, it's so good. It's a great beer.
So the funny thing is start talking about like the people who say like when they taste wine and they do the smellings and they all the shit for wine, and like you go for a tasting and like, oh, this wine, and you look at it and like, let's see, you get sense of cherry, chocolate, and leather. Leather.
I don't want none of that.
Let's move on. Ass matter. No, it's like what? Who sits there and goes, shakes the wine around, sniffs it.
I do with my beers.
There's definitely. I do with wine. I do with wine all the time. But I'm just like, who does that? And goes, I'm smelling cherry, some chocolate, and leather. They're like, leather. I can't put this on I want people to drink this shit, right?
Right.
It tastes like leather, guys. Don't just say it down at all.
I have the distinct smell of plums, raisins, banana bread, and asshole. Oh, I smell some asshole in here. Man. Yeah, you wouldn't drink asshole.
Jose says, that's nice. Mine just smells like divorce.
Oh, okay. Well, if you need divorce advice, Jose, I'm your man. I went through one. And I've also helped at least 3 of my other friends go through divorces over the years and do it in a respectful way, which is important because you need to move on. Life goes on. For me, I did it in a respectful way because I thought fuck yeah, party's back on, baby.
A respectful way that Derek's talking about is going down the 50-yard line at Lucas Oil. And instead of doing like a proposal, it's a reverse of that, and it's a divorce papers handed.
I did not do it on the field.
We'd like to welcome to the field Derek, Richie, and his wife. And here's your divorce papers. Thank you very much. Oh my God.
It was just a matter of I'm done with this shit. I'm out of here. But anyhow, it all worked out for both of us, so it's good. She's doing better. I am fantastic. There you go. I can't remember anything, but I'm fantastic. All right, you're all from Indiana. We don't say it like that, but yeah, I mean, I'm not.
Are y'all from Indiana?
I live in Indiana, and I've lived in Indiana since I was 17 years old. Prior to that, I lived all over the world. So there you go.
Jackie says Puebla is out unless they score, right? Correct. Chicago's moving on.
Yes, this will
The
be
next
enough for
stage, as
Chicago.
long as they get a draw. It doesn't even matter what the results of the
Of the
PK shootout
PKs.
afterwards. They get a draw, they move on.
Right.
In fact, with a draw, even a draw and a loss, they still take the entire group. So we'll take it.
Yeah,
Go
indeed.
Chicago.
All right, what else we got? We running out?
Yes, we got one more thing. We're done with transfer news, Derek. You can relax, you can breathe.
Transfer news. Fuck that transfer news. It's over.
We're an hour and 45 minutes in. We still have yet to get to our actual topic. I got one last thing, and then we'll actually get to the topic.
We actually did get to the topic. We covered
Sort of.
several of them along the way. We covered PFOC and
Yes,
Aronson.
we covered them, yes.
We have not covered Musah. And
None of the
Pulisic.
Serie A. You're right. We did cover Fulham. So
Yep, that's done with. We have
Leeds
not covered
Milan,
the other
who
pair,
cares?
which is Weah and McKennie.
We haven't done any Serie A. We'll cover them in just a second.
Yep.
I wanted to talk about the Women's World Cup for just a brief moment.
Okay.
Because it surprised me to find that
Aren't they playing in the like 4 a.m. this morning or something like
they
that?
play, I don't know about the women's national team. I'm talking about Women's World Cup.
Okay.
Because I saw earlier today that Japan had scored 3 goals on Spain in the first half by halftime. So here's the stats of the game itself. Possession, Spain held 77% of the possession. Passes completed, Spain completed 782 to Japan's 158. Passes in opponent's half, Spain had 512 to Japan's 39.
So you're saying Spain dominated all the stats.
Japan outscored them 4-0. So
Holy fuck. That must have been a monster counterattack team.
They
Wow.
had 4 opportunities and they scored them all.
Set
That's
pieces,
what I'm reading
maybe?
here.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Good
I'll have to check
Lord.
that out.
Spain just held the ball the entire time, passed it around. You know, the stereotypical South or not
Yeah, tiki
Simpsons
taka
thing where, like,
bullshit.
the ball just going back and forth to the same 3 people.
Hate that fucking soccer. Hate
That had
it.
to be what it
Hate
is.
it. That's why I fucking hate watching Barcelona back in the day. I fucking hate tiki-taka soccer. It fucking drives me insane. It bores me to death. I'd rather watch 2 guys slay each other than fucking watch guys. Oh, here, you have it. No, you have it. Oh, well, let me kick it back to you. No, I'll kick it back to you. Oh, no. Surely you want the ball. No. Surely you do.
Early
it's just
Tuchel and
annoying.
Lampard, right? They just passing around the defensive 5.
Yes, it's a fucking annoying shit. I hate that kind of soccer, and I hate that became popular. It's annoying to me. Other people seem to think it's beautiful. Not me. I don't.
Wasn't even sharing the stats. Hold on one second.
Derek loves the German Gegenpress. I don't like the brand of Gegenpress that Jesse Marsh plays. I'll say that much. That is too predictable. So anyhow,
fair enough. I enjoy that press.
I like playing a smart press.
Attack.
Yes.
I think if you could figure that formation, that tactic, and while shoring up the defense, it would be very impressive and very good. But that's one thing. That's one thing he didn't do at Leeds. He didn't shore up the defense.
So. No, he did not. I don't think he had the players shore up the defense.
Yeah. No, that should have been one of the big things they went after. I mean, even I'm sorry, they should not have gone after West, and they should have gone after a center back or left back, something else to help shore up the defense.
Well, Chris Gary says I love soccer and crack. Yeah, that's the problem with Jesse Marsh's version. It was a little bit too much crack, right?
God, it was so fucking entertaining though. I mean, as frustrating as it is when they leaked in 2 stupid ass fucking goals and ended up losing. Watching them go into the attack and constantly press was very entertaining for me.
By the way, I have to add, Pete, I watched you today talk about Spencer Ritchie on your show.
Sorry. No.
All right? If you could pronounce Spencer Ritchie's last name correctly, which is spelled exactly like mine, because he is a distant cousin of mine, then why can't you say my name right? He does it on purpose. He does it on purpose.
He wants to give you a little more prestige, Derek. I mean, clearly Richie doesn't sound as formal as Richie.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. All right. What else we got? Is that it?
That's all I got, Derek. Let's talk about our actual topic at hand.
All right. So all right. The pros of pairing up Pulisic and Musah are they both know each other very well. I think if Musah actually fights himself into that 4-2-3-1, I think it'll be in one of the holding spots probably. But it doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be. He ain't going to play CAM. Let's just put it that way, though, because that ain't his role. Like Musah scoring or giving assists is not his thing. That's not what he does. But he'll have to fight for that spot.
Musah echoes the Luca De La Torre stature of a center midfielder where he gets the ball and he progresses it forward and he opens up the attack. He doesn't necessarily get the assist or the goal by any means.
For the U.S. men's national team.
For the U.S. men's national team, yes. And that's how they
Valencia,
should.
None of that.
That's how they should be looking at him, as that type of a player.
I agree.
I'm not saying that was purely on Valencia or their tactics. It might be purely on Musah at that point. But going to AC at that point, he needs to that needs to be the type of player that he's utilized as. And I'm
Absolutely.
not coach by any means, but what's beneficial here, obviously, is you're talking about our star midfielder, our star left winger, or whatever you want to call him at the time, mixed in with a young starlet of a center midfielder that's very vital to our actual pool, our center midfield trio.
Yeah.
And they're
absolutely.
going to be playing week in, week out. All the practices, they're going to have that chemistry developed. That's going to be very beneficial to us. Obviously, we have no concern of AC Milan being relegated. Of course, you have the concern of Musah or Pulisic maybe not necessarily playing week in, week out as consistent starters. That's something they're going to have to fight for.
Both of them.
Yeah, I mean, I see the
think
benefit of them playing together consistently.
Musah's going to have to fight harder than Pulisic.
Yes, I'll agree with you on that.
But here's the problem with both of those guys. They're both semi-passive. Neither demands the ball. Neither of them demand the fucking ball. That's what they both need to do as they grow as players. They both have that problem. They don't fucking demand the ball. You'll see Pulisic make runs, people don't pass it to him, and he doesn't bitch at him. He needs to bitch. Hey, I made a run. You never saw me.
He needs to pull the Gio Reyna and stick his hands up in the air like, what the fuck?
He doesn't need to act like a petulant child, but he needs to say, hey, when I make a run, you should be looking for me.
So,
like we saw this with Sargent. He's a total fucking passive-ass bitch, and now and now he's starting to grow. And we need to see that from Pulisic, and we need to see a whole lot of that from Yunus Musah.
Musah definitely, I will say, with Pulisic, I think he demands more of the ball when he's on the left. When he's on the right, he tends to ghost and passive aggressively just disappears.
Could be a problem.
When he's on the left, he's constantly going to the right position, asking for the ball.
Don't know how much left he's going to get to play this season.
Fair enough. I know. And my point is, I'm agreeing with you in the sense that when he's not playing his actual position, like where he wants to play on the left, because he wants to be able to cut it in. If he's out on the right, or if he's at the 10, he's got to pull that same type of mentality over to it. And I know it's a different role. It's a similarity when people are bitching about.
It's not like his left foot sucks. He can score with his left.
Fair, yeah, I agree.
So he needs to pull that confidence in there. Then he does, as Jose Lopez says, he needs to get laid. Absolutely, you're absolutely correct.
But I mean, when he's on the right and everything, it's the same argument that you see when we hear people like, Dest could play left back. He can play the left back position. If Jedi can't play, if he gets injured, Dest is always available. Well, Dest is a shadow of himself on the left side compared to him on the right side.
Well, Pulisic better get ready for it.
Exactly. Yeah, he's got to adjust. He's got to figure out
a lot of right midfield, right winger this season, and I hope he gets the opportunity to play CAM. I really do. I think that's where he would be the most comfortable. We haven't really seen enough of that in the preseason, so we'll see.
He actually says right, but he's asking if Leo can play left. Is that Leo? Leo?
Leao.
Okay.
Yes. So that's the
Porn.
problem. The problem is Pulisic has all kinds of competition on the wings, so he's got to take whatever they give him.
Yeah.
And in fact, the last preseason game, he started on the right. And then he floated around for a while, and then he went back on the right. Who knows? We'll see what. But either way, have some fucking balls and play like you're like a veteran leader. I know that's going to be hard for Musah because he's still young, but he ain't that young anymore. And he needs to step up and play non-passively.
Oh, no. Oh, wait. Is Pueblo up 2-1 right now?
No, they're in a penalty kicks.
Thank goodness.
So I don't think this penalty kick thing matters.
Nope.
Honestly.
Hallelujah.
Oh, your boy Brady.
We move on.
Brady just got in trouble for some shit. I don't know what he did.
Jumped off the line probably too early.
He saved it. Let's see. No. And then he talks shit. Oh, he talks shit to the Pueblo player. And then the referee's like, hey, don't talk shit, dude.
Oh, come on. If you're ever going to be able to talk shit, it's saving a PK, right? That should grant you, say, hey, fuck off, you know?
Well, Jeff says here, Jeff Pettibone, ultimately, dude just has to do well whenever he gets on the field. That's both of those guys.
Yeah.
And I guess the question is, no, it's not a question. The comment is, Musah's going to have to fight his balls off to get a starting role. Pulisic should play pretty regularly based on his, not last season, but just his general ceiling. You would think he would get to play. So we'll see if he plays himself out of a starting role or that'll be the worst case scenario. He plays, he doesn't have an effect on the team. He plays himself out of the starting role. He becomes a bench player. Leao and whoever else takes over as the wingers, and he's just stranded and has to play 15-bit minutes after. I hope that doesn't happen, but it's possible. Musah might struggle. There is one of the center midfielders, defensive midfielders, is injured. So, I mean, he has a chance. There's Loftus-Cheek, who plays center midfield.
Well, I mean, the price tag that they paid for Musah at that point, I mean, you have to imagine that they have him in contention for being a viable option. And, of course, AC Milan is going to be playing in all the local cups, the league itself, plus.
Oh, yeah.
There's plenty of time that he's going to have the opportunity. The key there for him, and even less on Pulisic, because I think Pulisic's going to have more opportunities, but more on Musah is that he has to take advantage of his opportunities.
Right. Now, Weah and our good boy McKennie. And you know we love McKennie, people. We love him. But honestly, it's probably time for him to kind of put down the champagne for a little while and just go fucking balls out professional and play like a man possessed for one season. Focus only on one thing: soccer, football. Forget all the side stuff. Forget the parties. Forget the champagne. Take the Twinkies out of the cabinet. Eat well. Eat healthy. Get a fucking somebody who can come in and cook you really healthy meals. Go out and jog, run, lose some fucking weight, and just focus on the game.
So when he was at Leeds, he still had the chubby cheek feel, and
he did lose some weight.
He wasn't as sleek as he was, as he has been in the past. But he was still able to go out there and play full 90 minutes, week in, week out, and he played off and on consistently. But I will say, as far as his time with Juve right now, let's talk about the Juve minutes here. We've only seen the one game against AC Milan. He's playing tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm not sure which. Well, he might play. I'm assuming he'll play. He had half of the match. Juve fans apparently ripped him a new one on the Twitters for whatever reason. Because I thought, there were some moments, some shaky moments here and there.
I didn't think he played that bad.
I thought he played perfectly fine. He maintained possession. He passed it out wide. He moved the ball around. There were a couple times where he's not necessarily the most comfortable with the ball at certain locations. But I thought that he played well enough that I'm like, well, that was not a bad half. And then all of a sudden you read Twitter, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that Twitter shit's out of control.
But I will
Listen,
say they were pretty fucking high up on Weah. And Weah had a pretty solid one half.
okay, well, on offense, he had some rough moments on defense.
Sure.
That's
bound to happen, yeah.
Yeah, Weah's going to have to figure out how to play defense. McKennie, as I said, once again, I would like to see McKennie just drop some weight, get not skinny, but thinner. And if you don't think people can run faster when they weigh less, they can. They really can. And I think that would help him. I think it would help his quickness. I think it would help his overall movement. He doesn't need to lose that much, though. It's like 20 pounds of baby fat, 15 pounds of baby fat at the most.
I don't think he has 20 pounds to lose. If he does that, he's going to be pretty sleek. I mean, pretty slim.
Oh, whoa, hold on.
He
lost a bunch of weight at Leeds by the end of the season. He lost 10 pounds, and he looked good. So if he can lose 10 pounds again,
how do you know he lost 10 pounds? They weigh him in every game. What's happening here?
Oh, well, come on. You saw the video. He looked demonstrably thinner by the end of the season.
I don't think it was 10 pounds.
Okay, listen, you put it up on the show. So if you can't remember your own shit that you brought up, comparing how he looked at the beginning when he got to Leeds to when he left Leeds,
I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not saying
you brought it up. You had two side-by-side photos.
I'm not saying he didn't lose weight. You know, playing week in, week out, 90
he looked
minutes.
like he lost 10 pounds.
I'm not saying he didn't lose weight. I'm saying I don't think he has 10 pounds of fat to necessarily lose unless he just goes.
He does again.
Cristiano Ronaldo-esque type of body type. And I don't think he'll ever get to that point. I'm just saying he probably packed on some muscle weight. He probably lost some fat.
Doing what? Packing on muscle weight, doing what?
Running around alone.
Lifting champagne bottles?
No. Now you're just being hyperbolic here now.
No, but seriously.
He lost some weight. I'm not disagreeing with you, Derek. I'm disagreeing with your random
He looks
arbitrary.
heavy again to me.
He lost 10 pounds by the end of the week.
He looks heavy again, Brett. At Juventus, the last game, he looked heavy again. He looked heavy.
I'm not 100% positive he looks that terribly different. Mind you,
no, he looks like the regular old.
He came back to the United States.
Fucking McKennie.
He had a handful of weeks here in the United States. I'm sure he packed on a pound or two.
Come on, dude.
Come on.
No, you come on.
No, you come on.
You come on. It's
no, you
ridiculous. You know he looks pudgy again. You know he does. If you watch last game, you know he looks pudgy again.
It's like you're not listening to me, Derek. I say words and you don't listen.
I did listen.
What's happening right now?
You're not embracing.
I'm saying words and you're not listening at all.
That he needs to lose some weight. He does.
I said he's been home. He's been back home in the United States, in Miami, most likely, partying it up for probably about five weeks or so there.
Oh
after the Nations League, I'm sure he's packed on a handful of pounds.
Yes, he has.
But when you're talking about a player that is when you're talking about physique at that point, 5 pounds can be a massive looking difference. It's not like me. If I lost 5 pounds, you're like, oh, you're looking a little thinner, right? But if he lost 5 pounds, like, holy shit, look at it. He's a completely different guy. Give him a sandwich, you know?
I honestly think he lost more than 5 pounds when he was with Leeds. That's just my personal opinion. You brought up the video. I thought he looked much thinner, or the photos. So anyhow, I think if we get back to that,
we were talking about.
It's not just about his weight. I want him to focus on soccer. Focus on the game.
I don't disagree with you on that.
No partying. No extracurricular jerking off with all these chicks and drinking champagne and staying up with all the celebrities in the nightlife. You know.
Mom and Dad are fighting. No.
I just want to see him give his all, become a complete professional just for a season, just to see how it works out. I want to see what West looks like as a 100%. Maybe it's not within his character to do it. He's such a jovial, fun-loving guy, you know?
Bandit's got it here. Do you think Diego's enabling him and he's giving him all the licorice and that's what's causing it?
I don't think so. That's really up at the end. At the end of the day, what McKennie puts in his body is his business. I just wish he made it his business to say, I'm going to be the best fucking pro this season I possibly can be. You know what I mean?
Or they're going to be.
That's all I want to see from him. There will only be one Xmas.
Chat's great, yeah.
Yeah.
Derek doesn't celebrate Christmas.
We do in our own way. Yeah, we do. I mean, we got the Hanukkah lights up. We got the Xmas tree. My parents have become
conflict of interest there.
Not really. Not for my family. It's just that from our history. But
where's the Kwanzaa star or card or whatever the fuck Kwanzaa?
No, none of us have any African. Well, that's not completely true.
Yeah.
There are Northern African in our blood somewhere along our
He
DNA.
also has 4% Neanderthal.
No, I have no way. I had almost no Neanderthal, Brett. Thank you.
No,
I think
4%. I believe that's what you found out is 4%.
No, I did not. Why do you inflict your own statistics onto me? I always wondered about that.
One of us. Derek,
All right. I think this has been a fabulous show. It's been fucking one of our best shows ever. How we fill 2 hours and 6 minutes of fucking talk about soccer when there's nothing going on in soccer. There's been no McKennie fucking Pulisic sister. There's been no kicking of dogs. Fucking Berhalter said something completely stupid, for months, because we haven't heard a word from him. We haven't heard a word from Berhalter, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Derek is the anti-caveman. I am a Renaissance man. Thank you for noticing that, Shafaro. I really appreciate that. Holy shit, 4%. No, Brett's making that up. I had 0% Neanderthal. All right.
It's not 0, guys. Okay.
It was 0. I took the fucking test, Brett. When did you take the test? Did you take the test?
No, I've never taken a test. I'm Norse. Of course I'm going to have Neanderthal in me. I know for a fact.
I know you do.
Come on. What you talk about, Derek? Come on. Seth Floyd says Greg is 100% North African dog.
He wishes. He's more like a fucking little.
No.
All right. He's more like a North African dog's pussy. That's what he is. All right. That's kind of gross, actually.
Weren't Neanderthals more intelligent than Homo sapiens anyway? Well, no, Neanderthals definitely ate more. They had to consume more calories to burn it off because they lived in crappier weather areas. They were just a different group of people.
Okay, Brett, that's very nice of you, but actually all the research shows that Homo sapiens, modern humans, which they lived amongst, were probably more intelligent. So
what that tells me is that the Homo sapiens simply just fucked like rabbits and bred them out of existence.
That's part of it. It could be, but they also fucked the Neanderthals too.
No, that's what I'm saying. They bred them out of existence. Yes. You started the.
Well, they didn't, because DNA in humans today has a bunch of Neanderthal in it.
How many Neanderthals do you know?
I'm just saying
they're no longer in existence.
Percentage of most Europeans have to 1 to 2% of Neanderthal in their DNA.
It speaks loads since you have 4%.
You dick. Quit trying to make me out to be some fucking goddamn caveman. All right, Jesus Christ.
No, I think it's safe to assume if anybody's more caveman, it's me. I've got the monster head, but that also goes to what he was saying earlier. I've got the big brain, so clearly I'm more intelligent.
Well, we won't get into that discussion about brain size and how it works. I am technically just barely a sub-genius, but we won't get into that. All right. Until the next time on the Straight Red Card, make sure on occasion you buy your stepsister a gift. And it doesn't always have to be a fucking dildo. Buy her some flowers on occasion. Make her feel like a real woman. All right? Like the woman you want her to be. And I hope you've already had that discussion with the whole family about how this is not gross. It is not wrong. You're not related. And it's totally cool. Okay? By law and everything. And I want you to feel comfortable about that. And as you move forward, I want you to feel good about yourselves, because both of you deserve happiness. Until the next time. That's right. Until the next time on the Straight Red Card, we'll see you on Thursday.
But she's a trap. She's an unsung novel. Turn a lap and get your whole world dazzled on the line, or a phone call with or without wine.
That hurt.
I'm tuned in like crazy, and I'm pretending like I know what they're doing, and I'm
Articulate and intelligent.
Greg's a bitch.